My friends, when I first meet them, I'm probably the first person with a disability that they are friends with. You know, in the beginning of the friendship, if they say, oh, there was this really cool place I went, and one of my first questions could be, oh, like, was there stairs? And they don't know the answer to the question because they can't even remember if they took a step or not. A few months later, we're really good friends. Then they call me and they're like, hey, I went to this really cool place, and guess what? There's no stairs. There's an elevator on this side. They start to become aware. My name is Sawsan Zakaria, and I have spinal muscular atrophy type 2. The more I started to become an adult and buy clothes that were actually my size, and I had the choice to pick what I was buying, I kind of started to purposely buy clothes that were tight fitting because I never wore them. I do have a hard time getting those things on. It's not the easiest, but I kind of felt like it was a way that I could express myself and let people know, hey, I'm just like you. Then when they start to talk to me, get to know me, whether it's hey, I like your shoes, or whatever it is, then that's when they start to see oh, we can have a normal conversation. I used to watch Lizzie McGuire and always think I can totally be on this show. Her animated part made me realize oh, I think the same way as this person. The only difference is that she can walk and I can't. And there's no one on this show that can't walk. I can totally be that person. I've done shows where wardrobe location is not accessible, or I get on set and the bathroom has a step to get there. I think fashion can be inaccessible for people with and without disabilities. It can be difficult to, put a pair of pants or a pair of shoes on if they don't have a changing table. When I was younger, I had to buy shoes that were 2 or 3 times bigger than my actual shoe size just to make sure my braces would fit. As a kid, thinking oh my God, everyone's gonna know these are not my shoes because they're so big, and that was another thing that made me uncomfortable and a little bit insecure. When I have gigs, I get a lot of anxiety that the wardrobe that's assigned to me might not work, so I'm constantly bringing clothes with me just in case. And on top of that, I'm having to change out 10 outfits in, one sitting sometimes to try to find the right thing, and sometimes it's really scary to think that I might not be able to get the director's vision. What I started to learn is that people were very receptive and appreciative that I did speak up, and they would get me whatever I needed if I just said something. So now on set, I feel very confident and comfortable letting them know hey, this isn't gonna work and this is why. And people are actually willing to kind of, go through lengths to make it work. There's a few things that are gonna come out of this show. It's a stepping stone. It's going to be a stepping stone of realizing that people with disabilities have the ability to have a spotlight and be on stage and be in a role where they are the main character. I am really happy at the way Hollywood, the route they're going. I do think right now that it's still mainly we are specifically looking for a girl in a wheelchair. It's gonna take time before I can submit myself for a lawyer role and it not be lawyer in a wheelchair. with just doing it more and being out there and being on set behind the scenes, it's really just going to help educate people, but also improve the inaccessibility within society.